pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I can send that to 1,000.
Selectmen meeting minutes Monday, July 16th, 2018 at the town office at 5 p.m. Item 1, minutes of the previous meeting, had the read minutes allowed for July 2nd, 2018, and motion to accept minutes as read, voted 3-0 to accept. Item 2 is public forum, group to clean up the town for the 2020 celebration, asking the town to provide containers for 2 free weekends per year to clean up yards. Someone on Facebook thanked whoever was responsible for the headstone cleanup in the Pine Grove Cemetery, and it actually was the Historical Society. Item 3, unfinished business, there was none. Item 4, under new business, we signed the certificate of the sewer commitment, signed by the selectmen, proposed for tax map updates, motion to accept the tax map update proposal from Hartland Surveying and Randy Butler for $30,000, and then we voted 3-0 to accept. We set a town meeting for the marijuana ordinance, motion to set date for August 20th, 2018 at 6 p.m. at the selectmen's meeting that day, and we voted 3-0 to accept. We discussed the landfill town meeting. We'll do a public forum for the landfill prior to setting a town meeting date. Update on the old town office. Chris announced that asbestos testing done at the old town hall. Under 5, other, motion to pay $50 donation to St. Jude's, excuse me, in memory of Linda Lee Ramsdell, Susan Frost's mother-in-law, from the town of Hartland, and then we voted 3-0 to accept. Hadley asked if there was any development with H.E.A.T. Chris reported that the contractors, school officials, and some ITCC board members attended a meeting on July 12, 2018, and a market survey is underway for H.E.A.T at this time. Question on why landfill odor problem not discussed. Chris shared that there are still complaints, there has been no resolve, but the town has done everything the DEP and our consultants have asked to date. Chris and Bruce to meet in Augusta tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with the DEP. Chris to provide safety data sheets and other official testing data to the public. Item 6, we signed warrants. We respectfully submitted Chris Littlefield, town manager. Second.
Public forum. May I make a comment about the street situation going up to the middle school? If the school district is responsible for those several million potholes, is there any way that the board member or Chris can give them a cheerful call, let them know they better fill it in, decide putting a bus in one of them? That road up there to the middle school is horrifically awful in the story. Have you been up there, Chris?
No, I haven't.
Oh, good Lord. You don't want to, I'll tell you. It's bad.
That's the middle school you're talking about.
That's the middle school. I'm under the impression that the school district, Blake Street's nothing to get too excited about, but compared to the going up to the school, oh my gosh. Yeah, and if the buses and those kids are gonna be starting school within the next couple of weeks, gotta get it fixed, okay?
Judy? A couple things. One, I was wondering if you know who owns that section between the sidewalk, the road and the sidewalk. Does the town or that strip of the grassy area, say going up Academy Street, between the sidewalk and the street? Do the landowners own that, or is that public way, or?
No, it'd be landowner. We
It
just
would be
have that.
landowner.
You're talking about
From the sidewalk to the street, that strip,
The strip
They
between
used to
the
have a name
sidewalk
for
and
it.
the road is ours, isn't it?
between the sidewalk and the road would be ours.
Yeah.
okay.
And
So
See the
is that
sidewalk.
something we could work with flowers or mowing or maybe?
Yeah, I gotta look on the, I gotta look at the information on it, but I think it's the, from the sidewalk to the road would probably be hours,
Okay.
yeah.
Could you make sure though, and then
Yeah, I will,
we'll
yeah.
ask permission
I
to
honestly
do
don't know, I
whatever.
gotta double check it.
Yeah, and I missed the last meeting of the group that's working on cleaning up, but they have set a September date, and Robin will probably get a hold of you so that you'll know for the dumpsters.
It'll be nice if we have some flowers.
Or something, or at least
Right.
keep it mowed.
Right.
And Chris, did you do the lawns again? You and your
I did
daughter?
the ones a week ago Saturday, they need to be done again, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Anything else under public forum? Hearing none, we'll move on to unfinished business. I don't see any.
No, there's none.
So moving to new business. Carry forwards.
It's a time of year again, we're closing out the books and so forth, and looking at places where we underspent money, so we wanna do some carry forwards this year. Under general government, we got 47,000 we wanna allocate to roads. From general government, we wanna allocate 20,000 to the roof on this building. Public works is 28,200 for roads. And then, for the study at the transfer station and the landfill, we wanna, carry over 16,000 for that. That's the one.
When was the 16?
The 16 is for the transfer station and landfill study on the feasibility study.
Excuse me, feasibility for what?
On the potential of moving the transfer station to the landfill site.
There we go.
I would be willing to do that.
Probably to keep it all together, you know, the smell.
The smell. But I would think the further away from town, the better, but that's just me.
Okay, thank you, dear.
There's a second. Yeah, no, I don't know if she wanted, she sent 2 copies, so I think she wants them both.
So we're paying 15,000 to do a study on that?
Yeah, we have a contract actually for 14,000,
Who's doing that?
TRC.
I need to sign another sheet.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your reason for moving that?
One, we've talked about doing it for a while we don't have power up on the other site, and we have power at the landfill site, and we wanted to look at the feasibility of moving it down there, changing the types of containers we use, and getting actual compactors so that we can,
To do our own trash?
so we could compact our trash in containers.
You're not gonna take in everybody's trash?
No, it's for the transfer station that we have now. We use a backhoe to compact it. And we typically, I wanna say we get like 5 to 6 ton on average when we haul it. And if we were able to use regular compactors, we should be able to get more like 10 to 12. And it should cut down on our costs a little bit on.
But there will be no trash from nowhere else,
No.
No,
Still be
it's
just
still
local.
the town of Hartland's transfer station.
just the town.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
curiosity out of this, Chris. In this study, are you figuring out about updating and leaving it the way it is also?
Yeah, that's the
Like
thing.
running
The
power up
feasibility-
there?
Yes, yes. That would be part of the feasibility study. It's looking at which one is gonna be most cost effective and does it make sense.
Because, I mean, they make compactors that are single phase, you don't need three-phase to run some
Right, we
compactors.
looked at putting power in up there several years ago, and we never moved forward with it. So we're just, this is something that we've talked about for quite a while, and the selectmen asked me to go ahead and see about what it would cost for a study, so we got a proposal from TRC. So,
Have you had any complaints on that transfer station where it's sitting?
no,
Are you afraid you're gonna have complaints once we move it?
You know, the turkey vouchers and the rats and
It's not gonna be moved.
well, possibly, we
It's not
don't
gonna
know,
be-
the feasibility
That's the
study.
feasibility.
Yeah, you're talking about possibility later on to move it, I mean, I'm just looking at, you think you're gonna get any more? Obviously, we've got a smell problem now, but I mean, moving that down there, you guys are looking at already generating one issue right now that we're having a hard time controlling, and when you move the landfill down there, are we gonna have, oh, we just had ice cream with a cake now, because we got a bigger problem.
Right.
I mean, this is
Not to
just
mention,
my
like he said, rats.
my concern on it, I mean, is this gonna get out of control more than we can handle now as it is?
Right.
If we're not having no complaints
I
with.
mean, garbage should be as far out of town, in my opinion, as possible. I don't see moving it closer to town, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
What the study should bring light
Sometimes,
to it, so.
sometimes money isn't everything, I guess is what I'm getting at. The people that have to live around there, you really should take that into consideration as well. And I'm not sure a feasibility study would include that type of
And before
information.
you do the study, could you check to see how much it would cost to put power up there?
That's what,
Right, the
that's what the
feasibility
study's for.
study will look at that option. If we put power up there and put compactors up there, it's going to be, looking at one versus the other, what is the most cost effective and what do we
And
think
I
is gonna work?
understand that, I understand that, but you said that you had looked before at the cost of putting power up there, but you never moved forward with it.
Yeah, it was several years ago, I don't even remember what the cost was, Paul, honestly, it was back, boy,
I remember
it's been
that.
6 or 7 years, might even been 10 years. It's been a long time. One thing today that is a possibility that is more advanced than it was 10 years ago is the idea of the solar panels. It might be a great spot up there at that site to do solar panels on top of the old landfill, and that might generate enough power to do what we want right there. These are the types of things we want to look at and see if it makes sense or not. So. But the goal, as a whole, is to save money operating the transfer station. That's the goal. And try to do a better job of compacting. The types of canisters used for that are all covered and enclosed, and the animals can't get at it as easily as they can with the system we have
And they're
now.
removed,
What's that?
and they're removed how often?
Well, they'd be dumped when they got full. They would
Right,
be-
exactly,
I
so.
mean, right now, we do 1.5 a week, I
Yeah.
would guess.
So
It's
they
fairly
wouldn't be
rapid.
sitting there.
Yeah, no.
If you decide not to move it, do the canisters still, or do you plan on still going with canisters?
Well, I guess I can't answer that for sure, because I don't know, I haven't seen any numbers, I haven't seen any proposal. I gotta understand a little bit more. We put zero effort into understanding the pros and cons of each. The idea of the feasibility study is to look at that. And frankly, we weren't, back when we were talking about doing this, we weren't having the odor issues. And, you know, it is a consideration. We absolutely will take that into consideration. So,
Chris, who owns the bucket loader at the dump? Is it the town or is it
the town.
the town? So technically you'd free up a piece of equipment they're abusing to compact.
Well,
If you went
you would
compact.
free it up, but honestly, it should be, we should get rid of it. It's really not.
Right, but I'm just saying, you're abusing a piece of equipment that we really need compactors anyway to fix the problem.
Absolutely. The ideal way
I
to
mean,
take care
I-
of trash is to compact it.
Okay.
It's just to try to update the system, and originally the idea of coming to landfill was because of the power part of it, because power is already there.
Okay, the town office roof bid.
Yep, I got a couple different prices on the roof, and I wanted to talk it through with you guys to see, I think we should move forward with it, because we knew when we came over here, that we were gonna have to work on the roof. But I got two different prices. I actually asked for a metal roofing price from Roof Systems, and the metal roofing price was $64,995. So after I got back up off the floor and kept reading, to shingle it, the price was $21,170. And I had another gentleman come in that he actually did the work for us downstairs on the vault, and he asked me about it. He gave me a price of $18,358, and that price is offering us a, look for it here, it's a 50-year architectural shingle versus a 25-year. And I asked him to go with the 50-year shingle from talking to a couple contractors. He said typically, most of the guys are putting on 25-year. He said if you're gonna spend the money, the difference is $2,800 and get the 50-year shingle. It's a much better shingle, much more durable, and it should last longer. So I asked the gentleman to give me a price quote with the 50-year shingle, and it came out to the $18,358. I'm pretty sure, I did not call to confirm it, but it just says a regular architectural shingle on this Roof Systems. I'm gonna suspect that it's a 25-year shingle. It does not say one way or the other. But
Did he say when he could do it?
he can do it fairly soon. Roof Systems, I got this price in last February, and they told me it'd be August or December before they could come. And the other gentleman, Beck, out of Fairfield, Waterville area, they won't even come give me a quote because they're so busy. So,
I don't mean to interrupt, but you might want to consider the bandstand longer.
yeah, that has been mentioned. I'll make a note of that because I didn't ask him about it, but he probably would do that fairly reasonable ask.
Good idea.
I noticed it when I said
Where would that money come from?
We're just doing it on the carry forward.
Do you know what the square footage of the roof is here?
Oh, I don't, but it calls for 36 square shingles. I do not know the square footage, but he said it was 36 squares of shingles.
It's 3,600 square feet. 100 square feet to a square.
Well, what's wrong with bandstand?
roof
The roof?
needs to be done part of it anyway.
Like crumbling.
So,
Shingles are crappy on them. Is that where they probably
It
managed this?
sounds to me like we should take his offer.
Right, we told him we'd take care of the shingles, so we're gonna provide the dumpster on this, but we've got 2 trucks that we've got for snow plowing. One of them we could use right out here and throw the shingles into, so save a little money on the dumpster on that. But, yeah,
Does he mention on that?
yes, please.
Which one?
We're doing this right here.
I move we take the bid of $18,350 to shingle new town office.
Second, all those in favor?
The update on the Old Town Office is, talked to the gentleman today, and unfortunately, he has a confirmation number that he received from the lab, but the lab cannot locate the sample that he did. So I'm not really sure what that's gonna mean, but he said he'd get back to me in a day or two. I was able to reach him this morning, so. And we have a request from the Lions Club on tables, chairs, and using the pool bathrooms as they've done in the past. We sold a bunch of the chairs, a bunch of the tables, and Susan suggested that maybe we just ask the fire department if it's okay if we use their tables and chairs and get them involved with helping the Lions Club on this. I just wanted you guys to be aware and make sure you're okay with that.
And the pool bathrooms will be open for this period of time.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
part, the town can,
Yep.
This
but we
is
don't
for
have chairs and
Lions
tables
Club.
anymore. Yes.
Car thing, or?
Yeah, the car show. They do it each year. Yep. I don't have all the particulars. Susan has it. She's got them on, in there on the desk. But I'll reach out to Tim and ask him if he can help accommodate it. So. Okay. Oh, I misspoke. I do have it right here. It's the September 22nd. It's from 7 a.m. They're looking for 25 chairs, 14 tables, and 6 garbage cans, and the use of the bathrooms.
27th?
22nd. Okay, First Park, they're having, on September 13th, they're holding an open house from 5 to 7 at 46 First Park Drive, Oakland. They're featuring food, tours, networking, and prizes. It says all clerks, managers, local elected councilmen and selectmen, and their KRDA First Park General Assembly representative are invited. More details to follow. I want you guys to be aware of that. I'm unsure who is the
Fine.
representative, okay.
How many more years we got with that? Must be getting down there now.
6?
6 more years?
I can't remember if it's 2000 or 2022. I was thinking it was 2000. I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, we've been working on the commitment for the mill rate, and what we're recommending is that we do maintain the mill rate the same as last year. And it will give us a $21,120 overlay.
What is that mill rate, Chris? Do you have it?
Yeah, it's 0.0226.
I'd like to take this time to commend Susan for the extra work and effort that she's put into this. She's gone out of her way. She's, to keep this, with the increase of the school and the possibility of an increase of mill rate, she worked very hard to keep it the same as last year, and I'd like to give her credit by all means.
Yes.
Yeah,
You have to
on
sign.
all of them.
Yeah, you don't want to sign that one for this one.
Well, the others are mine, so.
Yeah.
She did an outstanding job working on this.
Yes.
And there's a lot of new property coming up this next year that was started construction after April 1st. So next year, we're looking, and again, she's staying right on to it, and I'm looking for a lot of additional revenue in that, the properties that are being built around the lake and so on and so forth. So hopefully, it would, we'll look at the possibility of even lowering the mill rate.
someday.
Okay, we'll review the paperwork on the marijuana ordinance.
Yes, this is the one, this is the certification that you're gonna present this text, so they go together. Those go together, and that's attesting that this is the ordinance that you're presenting. Okay, now that is all for retail marijuana. This week, I should say the end of last week, we received another communication that talks about medical marijuana. This is a moratorium that some other organizations, other communities are considering. I didn't add it to this paperwork because I didn't know if you wanted to do it at the same time. If you do, we need to change the warrant, and there's a process that we need to go through. So this just came hot off the press last week, so.
Has the law changed? I thought we couldn't control medical marijuana.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to change the laws as a whole, is my understanding, and quite honestly, I can read you. It says right in here, they've changed them so much that it's confusing.
Right.
It says the ambiguities have created a breeding ground of confusion. So, I've read through all these several documents here 2 or 3 times, and it's clear as mud to me where they're headed with it.
This is after the fact.
The moratorium is separate. If we present this ordinance, it's for retail operations only. At some point, we have to address medical marijuana.
And social clubs.
Yes.
See, the way this one is written, they can't have a retail store unless we give them permission. Well, if we do this, we're not giving them permission. Oh, we don't want to, that's.
Well, the moratorium, the only thing the moratorium is doing, the moratorium is to give you the chance to do some research, understand the details, right? It just prolongs it so you have time to, all this is happening so fast, it's, with the rules and regulations for how we have to do special town meetings and so forth, you can't just change stuff week by week here. We gotta have some process to make sure we have the details correct and that we present the right details.
Is a special meeting for that still for August 20th?
Yes.
Town meeting.
For the retail,
Ordinance. Mm-hmm.
yes. The moratorium, they haven't said yet what you want to do.
And that would be right after our meeting. We'd have our meeting, and then
Yes.
that's right here afterwards.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
You might wanna have.
What about the medical
myself
marijuana?
here.
Are you talking about a dispensary for medical? Is that what that?
No.
We're talking about both.
There's both going on here, actually.
But this is only.
This one is only
That's
for
what they want to
retail.
put on the corner though.
And that's the one
Medical
that's.
dispensary.
The medical dispensary on the corner.
Yeah, but
Something
he's running
only-
into some
only that
problems there,
Yes.
so.
But the ordinance is about retail.
The ordinance is about retail.
Retail.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the second possibility for a future discussion is a medical dispensary. It has nothing to do with the caregiver, it has nothing to do with, it has something to do with a retail location.
This is just retail, like being able to walk into Rockies and buying a beer.
Yeah.
This would be walking in someplace and buying marijuana.
Right.
This moratorium here says,
Do it anyway.
I'll read this off. It's just, this came from MMA as a sample. It says municipality of Hartland moratorium ordinance regarding medical marijuana retail stores. Whereas the legislative body of the municipality of Hartland makes the following findings. 1, the Maine Medical Use of Marijuana Act codified in the Maine Revised Statutes in Title 22, Chapter 558C authorizes registered caregivers to possess, cultivate, and transfer medical marijuana to qualifying patients as those terms are defined by 22 MRS 2422. And on July 9, 2018, the Maine legislature enacted PL 2017 C-452 LD 1539, an act to amend Maine's medical marijuana law, which includes express authorization for registered caregivers to operate retail stores for the sale of the harvested medical marijuana to qualified patients. And on July 9, 2018, the Maine legislature enacted an emergency legislation, PL 217 C-447 LD 239, an act to amend the Maine medical marijuana law, which expressly recognizes municipality home rule to regulate registered caregivers' operations, and for the unregulated location and operation of medical marijuana retail stores within the municipality, raises legitimate and substantial questions about the impact of such activity on the municipality, including questions as to the compatibility with existing land uses and developments in the municipality, the sufficiency of municipal infrastructure to accommodate such activity, and the possibility of unlawful sale of medical marijuana and medical marijuana products. And 5, as a result of the foregoing issues, the location and operation of medical marijuana retail stores within the municipality have potentially serious implications for health, safety, and welfare of the municipality and its residents. And 6, the municipality currently has no regulations governing medical marijuana retail stores, and existing ordinances are insufficient to prevent serious public harm that could result from the unregulated development of medical marijuana retail stores. And 7, an overbearing of public facilities and resources, including public safety resources, is a reasonably foreseeable result of an unregulated location and operation of medical marijuana retail stores in the municipality. And 8, in the judgment of the legislative body of the municipality, the foregoing findings and conclusions constitute an emergency within the meaning of 30 AMRS 4356, requiring immediate legislative action. Now therefore, pursuant to 30 AMRS 4356, be it ordained by the municipality as follows. Section 1, the moratorium. The municipality does hereby declare a moratorium on the location, operation, permitting, approval, or licensing of any and all medical marijuana retail stores within the municipality. No person or organization shall develop or operate a medical marijuana retail store within the municipality on or after the effective date of this ordinance. During the time this ordinance is in effect, no officer, official, employee, office, administrative board, or agency of the municipality shall accept, process, approve, deny, or in any other way act upon any application for a license, building permit, or any other type of land use approval or permit, and or any other permits or licenses related to the medical marijuana retail store. 2, definitions. For purposes of this ordinance, the term medical marijuana retail store means an establishment having the attributes of a typical retail establishment, such as but not limited to signage, regular business hours, accessibility to the public, and sales directly to the consumer of the product, including, it says include any reference to a retail store or retail business that is used by a registered caregiver to offer harvested medical marijuana for sale to qualifying patients. Section 3, pending proceedings. Notwithstanding 1 MRS 302 or any other law to the contrary, this ordinance shall govern any proposed medical marijuana retail store for which an application for a permit, a building permit, certificate of occupancy, site plan, or any other required approval has been submitted to the municipality, whether or not a pending proceeding prior to the enactment of this ordinance. Section 4, Conflict Savings Clause. Any provisions of the municipality's ordinance that are inconsistent or conflicting with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent applicable for the duration of this moratorium. If any section or provision of this ordinance is declared by any court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid, such a declaration shall not invalidate any other section or provision. Violations. If any medical marijuana retail store is established in violation of the ordinance, each day of any continuing violation shall constitute a separate violation of this ordinance, and the municipality shall be entitled to all rights and remedies available to it pursuant to 30 AMRS 4452, including but not limited to fines, penalties, injunctive relief, and its reasonable attorney's fees and costs of prosecuting any such violations. Section 6, effective date. This ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its adoption and shall remain in full force and effect for a period of 180 days thereafter, unless extended pursuant to law or until a new and revised set of regulations is adopted by the municipality, whichever shall occur first.
Wonderful.
Who wrote that?
This came from MMA, the Maine Municipal Association.
And where could we get that information?
What's that?
Where could we get that information?
A copy of it,
thi-
you mean?
Copy
This
of it?
particular one right here.
Or a link to it?
Yeah, I can give you a copy of this.
Okay.
We haven't made any, this is just a recommendation from MMA, or not a
Yeah, but
recommendation, just a format.
Well, then you should be able to distribute a letter to the citizens of the town of Hartland, right?
Yeah, we can,
Through
we can
email.
distribute this out as, because we talked about it tonight, we can give you this, but if we're gonna do if we actually do the moratorium, we're doing a warrant and things like that, we don't give out the information until the paperwork is signed by the selectmen, because they might make a change prior to going
Yeah,
out.
I understand the process of moratorium, I just
Yeah.
want to know if we could get the information so that we could be able to further understand, read, and comprehend what the MMA has written.
Yep, yep.
And that is not what we're gonna be voting on. We're gonna be voting on just the details. Yeah.
So we do know a fact that he is gonna be doing marijuana there?
No.
Has anybody talked to
You
him?
haven't given
Well,
information
we
to
gotta
do
have
so yet.
the ordinance first. Gotta have the ordinance first.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
He hasn't actually applied yet.
Nothing.
Yes.
Under state law, of the state of Maine, nobody has permission to do so until the community gives them permission to do so.
Right, right. I just wanna say, I found out that you can make a lot of money, the town can make a lot of money on this. In case you didn't know, they can charge $50 a pound.
When they illegalized
tax
the
it.
controlled substance of marijuana back in 1912 or approximately there, they also illegalized it, but they also said in the same, similar statute within the same regulation, the federal government retains the right to tax it up to $50 an ounce. And if you look at the 10th Amendment, those powers not reserved to the federal government goes to the state. Those powers not reserved to the state goes to the community. The state is not taxing recreational marijuana, neither is the federal government, so the town has an opportunity to tax it.
We can tax
Up to that federal
$50.
maximum of $50 an ounce, which is equivalent to a pack of cigarettes. I've done some quite extensive research on this.
These laws are changing every day, because this
Every
is
day.
entirely
Well-
different than what they did on May 2nd.
Yes,
Right,
but
but that's not gonna change.
that has nothing to do with
This is the
recreational
federal.
marijuana.
Yeah.
Right, this is the federal, and we have a right to charge that tax because the federal and the state are not charging it. And if we do it now, they can't take it away from us.
Right, because of the Ninth
If
Amendment.
they
They can-
decide to later,
The Ninth Amendment of the federal constitution says they cannot impede your
your ordinances, or diminish your ordinance.
So we, not only do we have to have an ordinance, but we have to have regulations and rules and a
You have-
policy of some
you have
sort
to have a-
to tax,
a
some vehicle
policy,
to tax
yeah.
it with, I'm not sure what.
I'm still looking into that with the state legislature.
We can into that, but this is a really big opportunity for the town, in my opinion.
It could more than well offset some other expenses.
Unless they go to another town and buy it where there is no.
You can write in your ordinance or regulation that they can't bring them to town.
You can grow it yourself anyway.
That can be regulated too, because it is by the state now.
See, according to this, the legal notes that we get from MMA, it says here, under the adult use marijuana and local control, it says municipalities also have no authority to tax any adult use marijuana establishments other than levying traditional property taxes.
Use, right, not sale.
But also, if you look at the farmland tax, you can assess a tax on the place where it's
There is no state tax
grown.
revenue sharing with municipalities under the new law. See, this is
The new law is
a
coming
new
out
law.
October 21st, I believe, something.
This says effective May 2nd to 18.
I'm still researching it, but anyway, it's
But
potential.
like I said, the
It's a
laws are
thought.
changing every single day, so who
Right.
knows what tomorrow will
There's a large-
bring.
Right.
But keep it open in mind.
But I think, like he said, we need to keep an open mind and
Absolutely.
grab this opportunity if we can.
But
There is
if
one.
it was a medical marijuana,
No, that's
we would
already,
at least get property taxes from those.
yeah, but medical marijuana is already controlled by the state. That comes under different
Yeah,
classification.
taxes are-
It's the recreational I'm talking about.
Because of how it's being used. Evidently not. This morning I had a gentleman show me his medical marijuana card. And you don't get those free, you have to pay for them. And you take them to the establishment, and if you don't have that card, you don't get anything.
Right.
So it's well controlled.
That part is,
That's for the
yes.
medical, right?
That's the medical.
Yeah.
It's well regulated, I'm sure,
It's well.
well regulated.
Yeah,
Well, we're-
it should be.
Yeah, they've only had 5 years to get it straight.
And I'm sure,
Right.
and I'm sure they'll get some regulations on the retail as well, or the, what do you call it?
Hmm?
Recreational.
Recreational, yes, that's yet to come,
That's
believe
yet
me.
to come, I'm sure.
Because
that-
if the town doesn't grab this advantage,
But
the
if we don't
state will,
now, right.
but
Right now, you can grow 3 plants, you can have 3 mature plants, or 6.
Six mature, 12 over a foot, but not
I
mature.
thought it said 3 on that.
that's per person.
That's per person, but
That's illegal age.
3 is coming October.
But also, the taxation pattern hasn't been addressed yet, and the town has an opportunity to do that if they wish.
So I could put 3 plants in my backyard and be completely
As
legal.
long as nobody can see it, yes.
Be able to see it.
No, as long as nobody can see it.
Nobody can see it, okay.
Why is
Well,
that?
I don't
Why
plan
can't
on
they
doing
see it?
that, but.
They don't want it out in the open.
Well, I don't know, but if they can see it, somebody's gonna steal it.
You saw that
Don't want a roof, unless you can see it. You can't see
I
it.
think we need to move on.
Because down the
Yeah.
street.
Okay, what did you just,
Uh,
is this the grant application?
Well, we just received another grant. I just wanted to give you an update on where we're at. I reviewed the information today on the project that we have going at the treatment plant, and total to date, the total funding package today is $13,102,000. We did receive another $500,000 from the NBRC grant this week, which that actually does come directly from the governor's office. The loan portion of this grant, this funding package of $13 million is $2,239,517. And we have already taken to town meeting, special town meeting, all but the $170,000 that's been proposed. We haven't taken any action on this CWSRF for 2018. There's an opportunity for another $1,152,483 with $981,800 forgiven if we borrow $170,000. So just laying out the funding package the way it sits today, there's still some, we have a declaration from EDA on the grant for $1,930,000. However, we're still talking through some details and specific points of that. That figure might change a little bit. They won't give me a definite at this point, but I just thought I'd give you an update on where we're at with it, and brings this package, the loan to grant percentage to 17%. And it's kind of nice to know that the governor's office is still helping us along here, so.
Very nice. No action.
No action needs to be taken, I just wanted you to be aware. At some point, we will have to go to the public for a special town meeting to see if they want to borrow the 170 to receive this figure.
This funding is still assuming that Tasman stays in Hartland.
This funding has nothing to do with that.
It isn't the treatment plant?
It is the treatment plant, but it's all been
Yeah, but the design of what we're doing down there.
Oh,
is-
yes, the design is, yes,
Yes.
that's absolutely, the design is based on them staying, absolutely, yes.
When you build it, they'll come, or they'll stay.
I want to give you a quick update on the landfill. Amanda's coming tomorrow to do air monitors. I did also do some pricing on a fence, running around $12,000 if we do it ourselves. We got some prices from Newport Fence last fall, and also from ADA, and we can't put our hands on them, so I don't know where they went to, but I know they were in excess of 14,000. I have misplaced them somewhere. I don't know where I put them or where they've gone to, but I don't have those quotes. I certainly can go back out to them. Really what I asked them for, what I've done here is designed a fence using 4x4s and using pressure treated 2x4s, and pouring some concrete and putting them, standing them up and making them 12 feet high, so.
I'm just gonna ask you what the dimensions are gonna be.
Yeah, this 12,000 is 164 feet long.
Have we got any assurance that that fence is gonna help?
We have none.
So why are we doing it, I guess?
Yes.
What would you like the fence to do?
What's that?
What would you like the fence to do?
Hopefully the fence will help some of the intermittent voters. I don't know if it will or not. I mean, that would be the goal, is to try to help. I don't have any idea if it will work or not. So,
What is it gonna be made of?
just the pressure treated 4x4s, and what I priced out was pressure treated 4x4s, using some pressure treated 2x4s, and then just using pine boards that are 12 feet long. It'd be 12 inches wide, 12 feet long.
Yes.
The wind's not gonna stop, is it? When it blows up against that fence?
Well, hopefully it'll blow against the fence and not
Yeah,
over it.
we haven't decided that we're definitely doing it. I brought a price.
It's gonna,
So.
All we can do is hope. Okay.
Well, there hasn't been a decision to make.
No, I just was saying, giving you the price tonight. I wanted you to know that I did the math out now. That's using our own labor, and the material cost would be around $6,000 or so, $7,000 with machines and so forth. The rest of it is labor, without labor. And again, I always figure stuff if we're doing it with a labor cost, because that's really the true cost, so. We use $40 an hour.
Now, I'd like to ask a question.
Yes.
You've tried chemicals, you're trying a fence, right? Oh,
I
we're
haven't.
talking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not home all the time. I like to run around. But I'm home at night. But I've I haven't noticed much of a smell when it rains. But as soon as it stops raining and the heat comes up, you get a tremendous amount of stink. You go outside and you want to go, nah. And I'm wondering if maybe the plain old water set up a system of sprinkler system. If that would do it and cure it, period. Just set it going, you know, when it got hot.
Another slide.
Yeah, that
And
will,
my
that
house
will make
sits right beside your house, Marie,
Right.
and last week when it rained hard,
Yeah.
we got terrible smells.
I probably was ramming around. I had a no-charge rental car. So I put about
It
1,500
hasn't
miles
really
on
made
it.
any difference what the weather is, right? As far as the
No, it
So-
hasn't.
humidity
Is it
or-
as bad as the old
Humidity,
salad bowl used to be?
sunshine,
What was
Right.
that?
Right.
Remember that smell the minute you come into town?
No,
It
she
Yeah.
just
remained
moved
the
here.
whole time?
She just moved.
Oh, that was back in what?
That was way back.
70s, 60s?
Yeah, because I moved up here in '74.
Well, it was here then.
I sent you guys.
I don't
the email
remember
this
that.
morning.
I remember how bad the water was.
You didn't get it because of,
I got it, but just before we came down.
okay. Is that anything you're interested in? If you're not, it's okay.
I've got issues with it.
Okay, all right,
What
that's
are you
fine.
testing for?
We're testing for hydrogen sulfide.
All right, we got 2 emails last week. One from your consultant, one from DEP,
Yep,
that said there is very minimal hydrogen sulfide odors on that land.
right.
So why would you test for that? And we're getting drove out every day.
Well, we're testing because there's opportunity to test for it. There's something that measures,
Hydrogen
hydrogen
sulfide.
sulfide tends to have an odor to it.
Both of your top fuel people just sent us an email that there is no
Okay,
hydrogen
so you're
sulfide.
saying you'd rather we don't do the test?
No, I want the odor stopped.
Right.
But if you're gonna put something there that they just said last week isn't there, what about something else?
I don't know what's that, but I know it's stinking.
It just sounds like they're just throwing.
5 o'clock this morning, we're wide awake,
Doing anything to
drove it out of
actually
the
fix
house.
it.
We had to shut all the windows. So Lou, I call him Lou, Mr. Pizzuto, Pizzuti,
Yeah.
said we have no
Pizzuti?
hydrogen sulfide problem.
I got a call from him and didn't know what it was.
Well, I guess it's fine, but
Okay.
are we on that
So
subject?
you want to have the monitor or not?
Yeah, what are we gonna have, card or?
Yeah,
I don't have an
I-
outside thing on the front.
Okay, no, we'll provide all the stuff. I don't even know 100% honestly, we lost internet service today. There's special, the cord has to be hooked a special way and so forth, I don't even know in all honesty. I just wanted to see if you're interested, if you're not, it's okay. So,
Yeah,
I mean.
I'm not, I don't agree with it, but yeah, I will do
Okay,
it.
all
Could
right.
they do different tests at the same time, or does it have to be, they test for one thing and then they test for something else?
Well, I honestly don't know, Debbie, I think this machine is specifically designed for hydrogen sulfide. I really believe that's what the machine is designed for.
Right.
And that's, we just thought it'd be a good idea to put it on our side, right near the fence. We have power over there with the
Yeah.
generator running, but we need somebody on the other side that would be willing to give us power. And we're happy to help pay for power for the month or whatever. We can do something like that.
There's power up there already.
I honestly don't know. I'll tell you tomorrow
Okay.
when we come by, but I think it's 14 days, but I'm not sure of that.
As far as putting power up on the line, there's power up there.
Right, right. There is power up there.
Yeah.
It goes down around the back side of the landfill.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Because I've been out there and there's a cement thing out there like they used to do in World War II. Like a bunker out in the woods, right within 25, 30 feet of the empty power on the telephone pole, on the pole.
I'm not sure
He's
where
talking
you're
about
at.
though, on the other side, on their property,
Right.
on Earl and Paula's property.
No.
They wanna test there.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't have a
Yeah.
problem, I don't guess we don't have a problem.
Okay.
but,
But
Thank you.
okay.
you
I thought
understand what
maybe you
I'm saying
misunderstood,
about,
but they.
I do, but I'm trying to follow a process that they're advising me to do,
Yep.
so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm
So
trying to
when-
still help the situation. I'm still trying to help.
Cause I went out there looking for my dogs.
what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the next,
Just moving on.
I got more stuff.
Oh, we got more
Oh,
stuff.
you got,
And
okay,
did
I'm
you vote
sorry.
on the
Landfill.
ordinance?
Pardon?
Did you vote on the ordinance? Did I miss that? Marijuana one?
That's not tonight.
It's just a warrant
it's
to
the
be
warrant
submitted.
article.
We did the warrant so we can vote on it on the August 20th. I think that is.
Yes, but we need to see a copy of it and
It's gotta be
You will.
posted,
It's
yes.
gonna be posted.
Yes.
Susan said that we couldn't until you voted tonight.
It has to
Until
be
they
posted,
sign it. They
it has to be
to sign
posted
it.
Oh,
7
they're
days in
just gonna sign it.
advance.
Right, they sign the paperwork, so
Oh, okay.
it's
you
available,
signed it,
it'll
yeah.
be available in the morning.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
Same difference.
As soon
I
as
thought you had a
Trish,
vote, I'm sorry.
Trish will take it and verify that it's, the signatures are there, and then she can make copies legally,
Okay.
and they'll be available tomorrow.
All right,
So,
good. Good deal.
Yep.
Missed it.
Oh, let me see, somewhere I've lost a piece of paper. Right here. This is a notice of public hearing for regional school unit number 19.
They weren't done yet.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry,
got some more info.
I'm sorry, yep.
I've asked the 3 select people several times about, do they believe the motors are real? Do they read the emails? And do you think this whole row of people are lying when they complain?
Absolutely not.
There is odors.
I'm sure there is.
No, do you believe there are odors?
Well, I have never said, I have never said that there
smelled
No,
wasn't
you
any
But
haven't
that
said
odors.
doesn't
anything.
mean they're not
I
there.
have too. I have never said there
I said
wasn't
here
any
last week,
odors.
asked all of you. You turned around, nobody said a word.
I did say something last time we met. I have never said there wasn't any odors. I have property up there. I know there's odors up
Okay, so
there.
let's get it out.
I'm telling you.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
So I guess,
but
why do we have to do all this testing if everybody knows there's odor?
That's what
Why
I,
do we have to
haven't
spend all this
smelled
money?
But
Why do we
that
have to
doesn't
spend
mean
all
I
this
don't
money
believe it.
5 o'clock
when
this
everybody
morning,
knows there's
7
odors?
o'clock,
I don't understand.
it stunk so bad you couldn't walk
I
It's a
out.
believe
bunch of
it.
garbage.
This- it's almost like I wanna go sit there.
Not like
24/7.
this.
As long as you
This
three
is
are
so
acknowledging.
I
Not
live down
always.
on
Chris
Elm
doesn't.
Street.
That's not true,
And
no, I've
when-
never said it
when
doesn't
they
stink.
haul
You dispute
flushing-
every-
Well, that was
I
then, this
never
is now,
said-
this is
I've
now,
never
we're
said-
doing now, not.
I'm too
That it was
tired of
not
fighting.
stinking.
And
I've
we
never
know
said
a lot
that.
more.
Kids
And
are
we know a
fighting.
lot more about what.
I've never said it was.
Hold up!
So,
Bring this meeting back to order, please.
What's that?
we talk about when we come, we have to report what we experience, that's what we do.
4 or 5 hours later,
If that's when we get the email, that's when we get the email.
I get it, I get it. I got one other thing. Pictures. Chris, the town manager, was taking pictures of houses, 6:30 in the morning, windows.
Yep.
That's okay?
Well, what is the problem with it? I'm the town manager going around reviewing you guys have said right out that, I don't come there, I don't do my job. It's been told to the DEP. The DEP has said that you have said that I've been up there at night working to make it worse. You really believe that, Earl, that I go up there at night?
I can't prove it. My point
Okay.
is, how would each one of you, 6:30 in the morning, hear a vehicle running, look out your window, see your own parlor sitting there, taking pictures? It's fine. Really?
Well, I'm not giving them to anybody.
Where are they?
I have them on my phone.
What is the purpose, Chris? What was your purpose?
My purpose is the fact of the matter is everyone says I lie. So if I have a picture saying the window's up, it's up, correct?
So, if you called me and asked me if my window was open,
I could have
and I
called and
said
asked you.
yes or no,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you said, I'm saying you're lying. I don't quite understand
No,
that.
your communication out there implies that I lied, that's what's been going on.
Implied?
Yes,
Can I just say this?
yes.
Your communication, your emails imply that we lie about
Point
the
blank.
owners.
Point blank.
That is not the intent. The intent is to talk about what we experienced. That's what we've done. My communication tells of times that I've been there when there's odors. I have communication that tells about when there's odors.
Mhm.
So am I saying there's no odors?
Sometimes you do.
So if you are.
If I don't experience it, that's what I report.
Can I give you one example?
Yeah.
Paula emailed 5:15. I can't give you the exact day off the top of my head. 5:15 one morning. You came back on and said, Paula, what time did the oats start?
Yes, I was curious.
She said 7:15.
Mm-hmm.
You came back on and said, well, 6:45, I was down COA and it didn't stink.
I was in your yard at 6:45, actually.
I-
And I did not
That
get
day?
an odor. That day,
particular
that
day?
particular morning.
I can't remember what day it is.
So if everybody is saying that nobody else is lying, what would be the point of taking pictures of the windows?
I just took
To prove
pictures
what?
just to show that the windows are up.
And,
And what is
and
the,
that implies that you don't believe them, because they've got their windows up so there can't be any smell, right?
no,
What was
The-
that supposed to show?
the, people are saying that I don't go do my job. I
didn't
took pictures
hear
to show
anybody
that I
say
was there.
But
Earl, you said it more than once, you said it in this room, that we don't do our jobs.
Not for quite a while.
Not for quite a while.
I haven't called you a liar in quite a while.
Yep, yep.
But my point is that it may not be illegal. I'm not saying it's illegal, but it's highly unethical for the town
take a
manager of a
picture.
town to take pictures of the morning of somebody's house.
Okay, that, part of our job as assessors, we go around and take pictures.
You wasn't assessing.
No, I wasn't, I was
He was
showing,
assessing the
I
problem.
was assessing the problem and trying to show that there are people that do have their windows open. It's not logical, it
Okay,
doesn't
you
make sense.
Let me give you an hour in our house every day, 1 hour.
come
She
on
closes
over.
them, I open them. It stinks, she closes them. It don't stink, I open them. So how do you know when you was there?
Besides the fact that it permeates the whole house.
Yes.
And
It's a
actually,
daily
Even in my
thing.
car
the
outside.
people up to the
Earl, I've
manor
never
have
said
said
that
that
it's not
it
a
has
daily thing.
permeated
But
that
what I'm
whole
telling you
building.
is the window thing, we don't have air conditioning.
Right,
We get all we can. When it
Right.
stinks, we close them all.
right,
When it don't stink anymore, I'm outside, we open them again.
right.
Mr.
I don't
wants to
know.
say something.
My name is Eric Tuttle. I'm a new resident of the town of Hartland. I registered this morning to vote in this community. I have a question on this particular issue. What difference does it make whether the windows are open or closed? I mean, if it was out on a deck or something like that and could still smell it, or opened the door and it came into the house, what difference does it really make whether the windows are open or closed? Could have been a door open, it could have been the back deck that you can't see.
Right.
I mean, the problem and the issue, it seems to me, is whether it's an odor, whether it's a toxic odor, or maybe a harmful odor over a period of time. Working with OSHA over the years, I know they have a permissible limit. Some are long-term, some are short-term. But we have to deal with the issue of whether it's hazardous to start with, and whether it's a long-term hazard that builds up in your system over the years, or whether it's something short-term that could affect your health immediately. So we have to look at those parameters. I know I've experienced this odor many times, and it might be just a slight change in the breeze, whether it goes to the neighbor's house or whether it comes to the house that I live in. And it varies throughout the day when it's happening. So you really can't tell whether it goes to his house, or my house, or maybe down to her house, which is completely opposite. The problem is, it's the odors, it's toxicity, potential harms that we really should be facing as a community.
And the quality of life of the
And,
people.
yes, and the quality of life, that's the basic issue. And as we have probably read, at least most of us, water is becoming our essential battleground. And we need to deal with any potential water contamination. I know you've done tests in the past to establish the parameters, so the DEP, the BEP, stuff like that, but over time, this stuff expands beyond what they've already tested. You might want to test for something like that too, or have them do it. Because my 5 years experience in working on mining issues throughout the state of Maine, we found that water can travel from Bald Mountain, way up in Aroostook County, all the way to southern Piscataquis County. So you don't know where that contamination is going to go. That's something we ought to monitor regularly, or have the mandate to do it. We can't get a super fund if something goes wrong. Under the federal guidelines, like Brooksville, in the Callahan mine, the state of Maine is on the hook for all that contamination now that the federal government has walked away. And the state of Maine and the community is going to be on the hook for this eventually if we don't use precaution to avoid it. That's my big concern right now, other than the odor, which is really rancid.
So can we reasonably assume there won't be any more picture taking?
Yeah, that's not an issue at all.
Yeah, in case my companion happened to be nude in front of the window at the time. Don't want to catch that on your phone. Then you're in a pornography violation or something.
We were also wondering if, I guess Bruce Munn was gonna have some training. Has he got his training
Bruce, training on,
for the landfill coordinator job? You had said something about he was gonna go to some training,
he and I went to a meeting.
a meeting.
Yeah, the boards as a whole have a operations manual training. They all have to do it at some point. It hasn't been scheduled yet.
Who has the license? Is it the the
TRC.
engineer person that's got the license to run the landfill? Or-
You know, town of Hartland has the license.
So they're
But
the
isn't
ones.
there a person that needs to be certified?
Certified?
No? Nice.
There's no certificate, there is a certification, but it's not required by law.
Yes, I had to be certified to be an OSHA inspector.
So you have asbestos and all that stuff coming, and nobody has to be trained, or?
Yeah, we're trained, we follow the operations that are in our operations manual. That is the part of the training. The training comes from the operations manual.
I thought asbestos, like percentages and all of that, you do that by looking at it?
We don't do any of that. What happens is that it's either friable or non-friable. We don't determine that. The certificate that comes along with it.
The truck driver or truck
Not
company?
the truck driver, the owner of the product. The owner of the product has to certify.
So you just take his word?
So you've never inspected and followed up to verify that they're following?
We've only taken, the only asbestos that's come in there has been from the town of Hartland.
I mean, a general sample of everything that's permitted to go into that landfill or sludge dump or whatever it is. Have you ever gone to the point to take a verifiable sample to see if they're following their permitting requirements for dumping?
All of the stuff that comes to our landfill has a testing requirement. CDD does not have a testing requirement. We have on file all of the samples that come with the product that we take in. So the DEP tells us whether we can take it or not.
Well, like, no document has ever been falsified before.
What's that?
No document has ever been falsified before.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, that's why I say, have you done any on-site testing at your landfill?
To verify.
To verify
their
that they're being honest about it.
Those items are profiled.
They could be dumping toxic waste in there, you never know it.
Yeah.
Because in the land of Sangerville, they gave them a permit to do an 8-inch
Well,
cut.
that's not really true that you'd never know it. If they were dumping toxic stuff in there, it would get caught in our leachate and be tested.
So you are testing something there.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
we
but-
test the leachate annually. Our landfill is a state-of-the-art landfill. It is lined, it goes to a pond, that pond goes to our treatment plant, and whatever goes in there goes to our treatment plant, gets treated and gets recycled back. It never hits the environment.
Okay, you're sure that, well, I don't know, I've worked on the Juniper Ridge issue for about 3 years now.
Yep.
And I've seen all the requirements and stuff like that, and I've seen the problems they've had with that one down
Are they
there.
lined? Is it lined?
They were supposedly lined, but their leachate is contaminated like you wouldn't believe. And they only test for like 11 items out of 35 that are required.
Right.
There are
Well,
other-
they're governed, they still have a governing body that governs them and checks. They still have to report to the DEP.
And they're really not kosher. I don't know, I wouldn't go as to say that they're dishonest and lying about it, but they're not always up to standards. They might live out to a standard for a year time, but they're not on a quarterly or something like that.
The government wouldn't lie. The government wouldn't lie.
And our Santa Claus doesn't look like you.
Are we
Yeah.
ready to move on?
I have one more question. What's, Chris, you said friable or non-friable?
Yep.
What does that mean?
Well, floor tile would be a non-friable product, which means it's solid, the asbestos is in it. As long as you don't break it, it won't hurt you, there's no way it can harm you. It's sealed in the tile itself. If you have insulation, insulation breaks apart and it goes into the air. It's a difference of whether it can be airborne or not. Siding, the law on asbestos siding on your house, you can take off and bury on your own property, which makes no sense to me. But if you have insulation, you have to have a contractor come in and remove the insulation, because it's hazardous.
Basically, friable means anything that can go into the atmosphere, breaking off from the original substance. And airborne asbestos is more hazardous than something that's solid, packed, and condensed and contained, which these shingles were. But your insulation and other types of asbestos are not, just like wood fiber or ash from, like perk, if that ash goes up the stack, we have to account for all that ash that goes up the stack, any lead content, stuff like that. That's all friable material.
Thank you.
We have, right now, we're waiting for an asbestos test at the old town hall. And there's 3 floors in there, 2 linoleums and 1 that's floor tile. It's suspect that they're all 3 have asbestos in it. But they can be taken out in the demolition process and put into a dumpster. We separate it out at the landfill, we mark it off, we coordinate latitude, longitude, and identify where it's at so you don't get into it again. That's the whole purpose of identifying.
And because of the age of that building, what about the lead content of any past paint over the years?
I have no idea about the lead content. They
Yeah,
don't
well,
test
is
for
it
it.
being checked for?
What's that?
Is it being checked?
It hasn't been checked, no.
Well, it needs to be checked,
Yeah.
because that'll be a serious violation too.
Yeah, they don't check for that, for CDD to go to the landfill.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
I know, because I've been in Augusta, and I've been in on the sessions and whatnot, they do check for that.
Yeah.
But just as a precaution, you
Okay,
should
this is,
inquire.
me, I wanna move on. This has gone on long enough, and it's time to move on.
Yeah.
This is an important issue.
It is an important issue, and we've talked it to death. It's time to move on. There's nothing else that we
Okay.
can do.
Okay.
We're doing everything we can.
Okay.
I would like to hear about the public hearing with RSU 19.
Okay, this is, Alfred Cole, resident of the Regional School Unit Number 19, in the name of the state of Maine, you are hereby required to notify the voters of the Regional School Unit Number 19 of the public hearing described in this notice. The voters of the town of Hartland, this is to the voters of the town of Hartland pursuant to section 1466-4C of Title 20-A of the Maine Revised Statutes. Public hearings will be held at 7 p.m. on August 16, 2018 at the Etna Dixmont School, 2100 Dixmont Road, Etna, on the withdrawal agreement between RSU 19 and the town of Etna, and the withdrawal agreement between RSU 19 and the town of Dixmont, providing for the withdrawal of the towns of Etna and Dixmont respectively, the Regional School Unit Number 19, in which have been conditionally approved by the State of Maine Commissioner of Education, signed and dated at the town of Newport, August 2, 2018, Mike Hammer. So, just wanted you guys to be aware that that meeting is taking place and you can attend if you choose to.
That will be at Etna Dixmont on the phone.
Yes, yes, it's 2100
Yeah.
Dixmont Road.
What's that to do with that?
We're in the district.
Hmm?
Oh,
We're
not
in the
the
district. We're in the
Oh,
district.
we're in that district?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Just another notice here that the pool has been vandalized once again. I'm not sure if the boys got it straightened out today. They broke in and broke doors, and the boys are trying to do something a little different for, not for hinges, but for locks, so that it locks a little better. And Bill thought he was gonna be able to fix it. I didn't get a chance to follow up with him today to find out how he made out with that.
Was it reported?
Yes,
Did they take the beer cans and stuff so they can do the sheriff's department?
Sheriff's Department took the vehicles, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it's prints.
And then I wanted to also mention that our annual audit is, Mindy's coming September 5th for the annual audit.
The officer that closed at that point?
No, she does it. She'll do it. We don't have to shut down for that.
Anything else?
Do you guys have anything else?
I suggest we sign the warrants. Yes.
On the paper for the special town meeting, on the second page, the date needs to be put on there. It's on the front page, it's on the second page, isn't it?
Susan?
That's home. You fight with my dogs. And my grandson. And you didn't get my picture, did you? Good. You said you were in
Let me get that for you.
Dates are on the front page.
Yeah,
Oh, I live just down.
August.
I live at 61.
She's a mean one.
And you're
Up on the sidewalk.
Says August.
And then you're gonna go through the clean.
This one there, you said you didn't write it in.
Right, that's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, keep it simple.
Try to stay out of trouble. I will. You want that in writing? Oh, okay. Get me a pen and a pencil. I'll write it down for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Chris, what we have done with Tom, before we got out of here.
Hi Frank. How you doing? Good, you?
I think the ITC city meeting is Wednesday.
Yep.
Right, and we need to post that. Are you going there?
We're doing. Oh, you know, put it forward.
Sean or Betsy?
Oh, yeah.
Dave, I don't know, but Dave said he was gonna try to attend the meeting.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Sounds good. I'm glad you did it. Read it right to death.
Yeah, right. Make good steaks though.
My father worked with the rolling mill in Oakland when they used to haul the flushes from here to Massachusetts. They
Well, that
made
doesn't
this,
mean we want it to happen. It would be nice if we could control it.
but all it isn't is if the town isn't doing everything they can and DEP's working it out. So, I remember how bad this town smelled with the salads all. God, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and
Chris, 5 o'clock, we can have a meeting, and to be able to do the town meeting at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stay right on to it.
No, but-
Yeah.
I was going to suggest 4:30, but then
Yeah,
it's
we,
too late now.
I don't see any reason why.
Right.
I'll try to
We're gonna do that right here, right?
Right.
Right,
Right, we can set chairs up out
Yeah.
there, or people can stand, we
right.
can go out there. if we need to. It's hard to know how
I
many
wish
people
the
there's gonna
state
be.
would set their regulations and their laws and leave them alone instead of changing every time. I mean, yes, at one time, there was a possibility of an income factor. And then some of the statements are that there is. So it's a hard call. And there are other states in the United States that have legalized marijuana that's making
millions.
making a significant profit for the communities and so on and so forth. But our state isn't set up yet. They have not set the boundaries, they have not set the regulations, and just when they do, they change them. So it's like, really?
They haven't really settled this yet.
No, they haven't.
Okay, but be prepared to take the windfall if you can get it. That's all I was talking
Yeah.
about.
I hope so.
Eventually, the state of Maine may tax it, they may take your taxation ability away from you.
That next
Maybe the federal government will do the same thing.
They're on.
But take it while you can get it.
I just know that
There was,
Building that thing change.
I went down,
the week before.
I went down Saturday morning.
And Robin came, they set,
first I heard
some dates for that, for the dumpster.
I got a question. Is this meeting adjourned?
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Pat, did you adjourn the meeting?
Not yet.
You have to vote for that.
Meeting adjourned.
The,
Supposed to vote on it, but anyway.
the,
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Although